Today on CityCast DC, we have a short interview sponsored by the DC Board of Elections. DC's June primary is coming up on June 16th, and for the first time ever, DC voters will be using ranked choice voting at the polls. Instead of picking just one candidate, you'll rank up to 5 in order of preference. This is new for DC, and we've had a lot of questions. So it may be new for us, but it's actually simpler than it seems. Today, I'm chatting with Gary Thompson, the chair of DC's Board of Elections, to break it all down. It is Saturday, June 6th, and this is what DC is talking about. Gary, welcome to CityCast DC.
Thank you so much.
So DC's June primary is going to look different this year because for the first time, voters will be using ranked choice voting. This is obviously a big change. So for a lot of people who may not exactly know how this works, what is it and why did DC make the switch?
Well, normally when we vote, you vote for one candidate in a given race, and whoever gets the most votes wins. Sometimes we have 5 or 6 or 10 candidates in a given race, and sometimes that can mean the winner has 15, 20, 25% of the vote. So what ranked choice voting does is it allows the voters to rank candidates up to 5 candidates, 1 through 5. And then if nobody gets a majority in the first round, the last place person is eliminated. And then we go to those voters' second choices and redistribute some votes, see if somebody crosses the 50-yard line, and so on until there is a person, a candidate, who has more than 50% of the vote. More than a year ago, a group of citizens proposed a voter initiative to implement ranked choice voting. So it was the proposer of that initiative that started this process. They went through a long procedure with our Board of Elections, but eventually they were able to get that on the ballot 2 years ago, and it passed by 73% across the whole city. And I think about more than 70% in all 8 wards. So the DC Council, in turn, made the choice to fund ranked choice voting. And so then it became our job at the BOE to implement it. And it's going very well on the implementation side. All systems are a go for our June 16th countdown. The mail ballots are out there right now.
Gotcha. So I'm imagining I'm in a voter booth right now. Walk me through what it actually looks like when I'm staring at my ballot. Like, how would I go about ranking the candidates? I just put numbers?
In the rows, the candidates will be listed in a certain order that we've chosen by lottery. And then the columns will be choice 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's like a grid. When it's time to make your first choice, you literally touch the bubble that you want to fill in for that first choice. And then you go to your second, third, fourth, and fifth choice. So as long as you don't repeat a row or a column, then you're good. So you obviously can't rank more than one person as your first choice. And you don't have to use all 5 choices if you don't want. You can just fill out 1 if that's all you're comfortable doing, or just 2 if that's all you're comfortable doing. But you can exercise up to 5 ranked choices.
Gotcha. And so I think a lot of people's instinct might be, if I rank more than one candidate, am I splitting my vote somehow? So what do you want DC voters to understand about that?
You are not splitting your vote. If you list somebody as your number one choice, that will always be your choice as long as that candidate stays in the race. So in the first round, the second round, if that person's not eliminated, and so on. So you're protecting your first choice always. But if your first choice happens to be eliminated, you might want to participate in the selection among the remaining candidates, and that would be your second choice. So if your second choice ever gets used, it means your first choice is gone. So if you're not using your second choice, you're sort of wasting the opportunity to participate in that further selection. It's like voting in the initial election, but not voting in a runoff. The ranked choice voting is kind of like a built-in runoff system. So your second choice is who you would vote for in a runoff, assuming your first choice is gone. So, and so on through your third, fourth, and fifth choices. Mathematically, it makes sense to use all 5 of your choices. You don't have to, but you can.
Gotcha. That's really helpful. So if someone wants to learn more about how ranked choice voting works, even beyond listening to this great conversation we've just had, before they head to the polls in June, where should they go?
www.dcboe.org is our website. There's a lot of good information there with demonstrations on there. So you can do a test drive of how voting works with a ranked choice style. Right now, our ballots have been mailed. So pretty soon, all registered DC voters will receive by mail a ballot, and you have plenty of time to sit down, almost a month, and figure out how you want to fill it out. If you're at home, you got plenty of time to be careful with how you bubble in just, your first choice, second, third, and so on. And you can put that into one of our secure drop boxes. If you want to vote in person, we have early voting that starts June 8th. It runs through June 14th. There's going to be 25 vote centers all around the city. You can go to our website, dcboe.org, find out where they are. You can vote at any vote center in DC, whether it's early or same day voting on June 16th. There'll be 75 vote centers. You can vote in any vote center you want. You don't have to go to a certain precinct anymore.
Gary, thank you so much for breaking this down for us.
Thank you.
DC voters, the June primary is June 16th, and now you know exactly how ranked choice voting works. To learn more, find your nearest vote center, head to dcboe.org/RCV. We'll also have that link for you in our show notes. Early voting starts June 8th and runs through June 14th. Thanks for listening.